The Australian and Advertiser newspapers carried leading stories today indicating that there would be a revival of the political party known as Family First. Family First was a party that had a federal senator in the form of Steve Fielding and then later had a senator in the form of Senator Bob Day. As a matter of self-disclosure, I was the Chief of Staff for former Senator Bob Day when he was in Canberra representing that party, and I caught up with Senator Day because he is running the Australian Family Party in South Australia, and he's been communicating with one of the two former Labor cabinet ministers who have been linked to the resurrection of the brand Family First. Bob Day, chair of the Australian Family Party, thanks for joining us on Flow again.
Sure, good morning.
You're the chair of the Australian Family Party. You're a former senator for Family First. There's reports around that Family First is being resurrected. I know you're a fan of Monty Python. Was Family First just not dead, it was resting?
Well, it's not really a restart of Family First. It's a new political party, which they're calling Family First. Jack Snelling, two former Labor Party cabinet ministers, heavyweights, Jack Snelling and Tom Kenyon, have decided to start a new political party, and they're going to call it Family First. And it's a bit like a couple of guys announcing they were restarting the Beatles. They could call themselves the Beatles, Ricky, and sing a couple of the old songs, but it's not the same.
So they're a cover band. Do you think this is a cover band for Family First?
I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. What I will say, you'll know them by their fruit. So I was the Ringo Starr to Andrew Evans' Paul McCartney, if you like. And after the original Family First band fell apart, I started another band called Australian Family Party, but I didn't call it Family First for that reason.
So you mentioned Andrew Evans. I've seen a post from him on social media overnight quoting one of these stories, giving his blessing to this new movement. So is it really a thing? Is they going to register as a party in South Australia? And how hard is that to get a party up and running 8 months out from an election?
Well, it's not easy. Obviously, there are a few hoops that you have to jump through, including getting the required minimum of 200 members, signed members, and then meet all the other requirements of the South Australian Electoral Commission, which includes obviously lodging constitution and all sorts of other party structures and so on. So they'll have their work cut out. It'll be pretty tight.
You sound pretty conversant with it. You've done all that compliance for the Australian Family Party. I gather you're running some candidates in the state election.
Oh, yes. So we've been doing this for nearly a year now. And all our membership applications and all the formalities have all been lodged. So we're well in time for the next state election. We've got a number of candidates lined up in a number of seats. Ironically, Tom Kenyon, one of the members of this new party called Family First, was going to be one of our candidates, but there's a surprise that he's now going to be, looks like a candidate for this new party.
Well, that's interesting. And is that do you think because he's probably got some strong connections with his former Labor colleague, Jack Snelling, who's also being linked to this, that it's sort of sticking with the guys that he knows?
Oh, I think so. You know, the guys in the Labor Party, it's a bit like Hotel California. You can check out, but you can never leave the Labor Party. They're lifetime members. It's in their blood, in their DNA, and which is, you know, it's what they do. And I think that's the way they see the world and the way they operate. And already, even in just the last few weeks that I have had some dealings with them, has shown that is the way that they operate. It's a different way of thinking. The culture of the organisation is different. I mean, you were a member of the old Family First, Ricky, yourself, so you would know how certain political parties operate and how other parties interact with them.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the Hotel California syndrome, that they never leave the Labor Party. And these guys say they've told the media they've dropped this is Snelling and Kenyon, that they're cancelling their membership of the Labor Party and that they're going to create and join this new party. But are they really going to, they've sworn off of preference deals with either of the major parties, but isn't this thing going to swing more in a Labor direction when it comes to the crunch of which way its preferences will flow?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, we can't prejudge, and we will know them. We'll know them by their fruits and the way that they do those sorts of arrangements. I know Tom Kenyon is very close to Peter Malinowskis, so people can draw their own conclusions. Two Labor Party guys establishing a new political party this close to an election with a number of very tight marginal seats that are under 2-3%. That's the way. That's how politics operates.
When I notice some of the coverage, these guys have talked about religious freedom. This is Snelling and Kenyon being quoted talking about their frustration about religious freedom in South Australia and the votes that have occurred on abortion and euthanasia. Are those topics for the Australian Family Party? Are those still strong topics of concern?
Well, most definitely. That's something that the Australian Family Party has been talking about now for many months, since the Right to Life rallies were held in February. The euthanasia, the Australian Family Party has been right in the middle of all those debates, alongside a number of lobby groups like Glove Adelaide and Australian Christian Lobby, Family Voice, and a number of others. So we've been right in the thick of it. Of all those, but we're not just a party, though. The Australian Family Party is a party that puts the family at the centre of every conversation. These other topics come up from time to time, the life and liberty and faith and family and freedom and the free to believe and free to speak. But there is a whole suite of policies that encompass the Australian Family Party. I mean, basically, the party believes that looking to politicians or public sector bureaucrats and regulators to fix the nation's and the state's economic and social problems is a lost cause. Instead, we need to look to the family, get right back to basics, in order to rebuild families, rebuild the state from the bottom up.
Now, we're 8 months from the state election. I think there was a saying that was used that you can't fatten a pig on market day. It sounds like you've been doing the work fattening the pig, but these guys might struggle.
Well, we'll wait and see. It all depends on what their objectives are. The Australian Family Party is in for the long haul. Building a political party and a political movement is done over decades, not just a few months. It depends what the short-term or the long-term objectives are. But we'll keep doing what we've been doing. People can go to our website, australianfamilyparty.org.au, to see our track record, the policies, our newsletters, our campaigns, our events, the things that we've been doing for the last 12 months.
Well, former Senator Bob Day and chairman of the Australian Family Party, thanks for giving us a bit of a breakdown on what's been happening there, and we'll keep tracking this with interest. It's all going to heat up coming up to the state election next March.
Certainly will. No problem.